Welcome to Snyder's Inc., where the fun never ends. Reactions, gaming, and more with Josh as your friend. Tune in, buckle up, it's a ride you don't wanna miss. Snyder's Inc., let's dive in, feel the ultimate bliss.
Gentlemen, welcome to Snyder's Inc., and today we got a wrestling reaction. This is 10 greatest homegrown AEW stars ever. We're gonna get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit subscribe button, comment what you think down below. Let's go.
Week we talked about the best wrestlers ever planted, watered, and photosynthesized by WWE, and we had a grand old time. But given that we are currently sandwiched between two AEW pay-per-views, we thought we would take a similar look at the Tony congregation. Of course, WWE and AEW have been around for almost the same amount of time, in the grand scheme of the universe anyway, but we will have to adjust our criteria a little bit. Given that AEW hasn't had too many success stories out of their associated schools just yet, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, and even Hook, for as much as I love him, haven't reached the level of success to be featured just yet. We will be looking at those who may have walked into AEW with some experience, but have become undeniable stars in the Tony conglomerate. I'm Tempest Hailing from Parts Unknown, and these are the 10 greatest homegrown AEW stars ever. But before we get on with this list, make sure, of course, that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a fun list just like it. We're almost at our 250,000 subscriber goal, so make sure you help us get there by watching last week's list and this one today. Number 10, Wardlow.
I'm close to 500 goal. How about we help me with that? Hit subscribe button, help me get to 500 subscribers. That's what I want. But yeah, this is gonna be one of those situations where I'll have an opinion on most people. They won't be long things like I do with my true crime or anything, but I'll have an opinion on the wrestlers themselves and the wrestlers and who they are and how I feel about their characters and their in-ring style and all that. We'll start with Wardlow. Wardlow is someone who has the tools look-wise. I mean, dude's a freaking jacked specimen. But the problem is with him is that he isn't the greatest in-ring wise, or not in-ring wise, promo wise. I still feel he needs some help there, and I don't want to say no one's helping him because I don't think that's true. I think the issue is just there's so many people in that company that need some help with shit and that don't want to listen to it. There's a lot of people in there that just don't want to listen to what the people got to say. What Legends got to say, apparently. And I don't know why, and I'm not going to get into all the shit that happened at All Out. Because that's a fucking thing in itself, but oh boy.
Wardlow may have badly come off the boil over the last year, but there is no denying how well done his rise to stardom was. When Wardlow was being hyped up, beating up NPCs on a rooftop, or whatever his vignette was, I didn't know who he was, and I watch a lot of wrestling, bro. But 2 years later, he was one of the highlights of Dynamite and a clear-cut next TNT champion. His slow-burn Batista-esque rise as MJF's heavy was done to perfection, and he seemed poised to remain one of AEW's top stars, but since then, Wardlow has been one of the more one-dimensional wrestlers in the company. He's been a one-note character over the last year, which is AEW's fault, and he's been a one-note wrestler in need of much more than a powerbomb, which is his fault. But there's still time for them to get Wardlow back to where he was and beyond, because as we've seen,
I think the issue is he's babyface. That's the issue. I understand why you think, but I think Wardlow's better as a heel. Just a dominant, destructive heel who can do what he can show more and do more with. I don't think he works as a babyface. I think there's some muscle guys who work as better as heels. Because like Batista's the only real example I got of someone who who's a big jack dude who's like a big jack dude who's a babyface. It's hard to do. I feel like Batista's the only one I've seen that can somewhat do it. Brock Lesnar can somewhat do it, depends who he's with. But yeah, it's not an easy thing to be able to do.
Across wrestling time and space, people like to see a big meaty man bumping meat if they're given a reason to care. Number 9, Jade Cargill. There are
a star that I like, and my friend doesn't. My friend Chris hates Jade Cargill so much and is so happy she's gone, or she might be gone from AEW. I don't know what his hatred is. I get that she's not the greatest thing ring-wise. She ain't no freaking 5-star wrestler, but goddamn, she gets the point across. She has the look. She is the look in AEW. She's just got it. She's just got the look and everything. You can put her on the posters. There's a reason you put the belt on for as long as you did. It just works. Unfortunately, her wrestling is the one flaw, but once she gets that figured out, whoo! Ain't no one gonna be stopping her.
glaring similarities between Wardlow and Jade Cargill, formerly the Forever TBS champion until Forever finally came to an end. Jade also lacked much of any real storyline, winning matches with little question about who would win, but while a bit of extra sauce on Jade's first 2.5 years in AEW would have been nice, it is undeniable that the booking philosophy of having a 1,000 batting average makes you a star. There are few in all of AEW with as much natural star power and charisma as Jade. I mean, who else's entrance could possibly give Queen of the Ring such a reaction? It will be very interesting to see what Jade is able to do in a post-undefeated streak world, and odds are that next chapter will be when we really see who Jade Cargill is. After all, we have seen her entire wrestling career being played out on national television. So if that isn't homegrown talent, I don't know what is. Number 8, Jack Perry. One of only a handful of names signed before AEW ever put on a show, Jungle Boy Jack Perry was an early fan favorite of the AEW faithful. Coming to the ring on the back of a dinosaur with a little miniature man running around, Jungle Boy was one of the more kid-friendly characters of the early days of Dynamite, with a promising future to boot. From making it through Chris Jericho...
What was I gonna say about Jungle Boy here? Sorry, I got distracted. What was I gonna... Oh! So we're just gonna ignore what happened in Wembley when talking about Jack Perry, because, doesn't make either man look good. What I will say is, Jack is another one that has all the tools, except promos. I still say he needs work on promos. I think that's the major flaw he has. He still needs to work on his promo skills. That's the main thing he's got. Because in ring-wise, he's got it. Look-wise, of course he's got it. He's like the poster boy if there ever was a poster boy. But it's just, yeah, he just needs some work promo-wise.
Jack Perry. One of only a handful of names signed before AEW ever put on a show, Jungle Boy Jack Perry was an early fan favorite of the AEW faithful. Coming to the ring on the back of a dinosaur with a little miniature man running around, Jungle Boy was one of the more kid-friendly characters of the early days of Dynamite, with a promising future to boot. From making it through Chris Jericho's 10-minute challenge in 2019 to having a hell of a match with MJF at Double or Nothing 2020, a very fun TV program with Kenny Omega in 2021, and his tag title reign in 2022, Jungle Jack seemed on the way up until 2023. This year has been a bit of a snag for the lad, as the split from Jurassic Express and Christian Cage left him a bit exposed, especially in the promo department, leading to his recent bad boy, leather jacket, say bad words, and beat up your dad's favorite ECW wrestler's character change. The future is still bright for Jack. Christ, he's only 26 years old after all, and AEW clearly has big plans for him, but he is the first of AEW's pillars to show up on this list. Number 7, Sammy Guevara. The second of AEW's pillars to show up on this list. Another OG AEW signing, Sammy has always been able to claim that he wrestled the first ever match at Double or Nothing 2019 and the first ever match on AEW Dynamite, meaning he is about as grassroots as they come in AEW. Sammy is among those on this list that came in with a good amount of experience under his belt. Hell, he signed with AEW with a championship belt around his waist from one of the top promotions in Mexico. But in terms of coming into his own as a star, that has been on full display in AEW. Sammy has spent the first 4 years...
It is insane to me how hard AEW tries to make Sammy Guevara a babyface. It is actually extremely insane to me how hard they try. They try really hard. Like, I mean really hard. It's really weird. It just is. Listen, just take it from Logan Paul, okay? Just take it. Here's what I'm saying. The man's a douchebag. And when you're a douchebag, just stay a douchebag. And let the crowd organically like you. Don't force the crowd to try to put him in position. Don't put the crowd in position where they have to kind of forcefully like him. Just let him be a douchebag. Because eventually the crowd will appreciate his douchebaggery. Okay? Eventually the crowd will like his douchebaggery. You just gotta do it the right way. You had it the first time, then the Ty Mello thing happened, and he's not been able to get it back. But as an in-ring talent, Sammy Guevara was fucking fantastic. As a promo, he's got it. He's good. He works well with people. Like, Sammy's got out fucking all the tools. He just need to stop making him a babyface.
3 years of his AEW career solidly in Chris Jericho's shadow, whether it be as a member of the Inner Circle or the Jericho Appreciation Society, so it remains to be seen how well he will do when he is finally free from Jericho's clutches, but Sammy has always been more than capable of pulling off star-making performances. His TNT title reigns may have been a bit more than spotty, but we shall not write him off by any means, especially given how one of those TNT reigns started. Number 6, Jamie Hayter.
God, I love Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter. Woo! What to say? Yeah, Jamie Hayter is just the most, organically overrated women I think they've ever had. Unfortunately, her injury aside, that kind of silenced her from being at Wembley because she should have been at it. Fucking incredible here. She is an incredible wrestler, incredibly over, knows what she's doing character-wise. I can't really remember her promo-wise, so I don't really know. She's kind of always been associated with Britt, so I feel like Britt does most of the talking, but some of y'all might be able to tell me, because some of y'all watch this probably better than I do. I've kind of fallen off of just watching weekly shows. That's on me. I just like to, know what y'all think of Jamie Hayter promo-wise.
I am so sad that Jamie Hayter was not able to wrestle at All In, because the ovation that she would have gotten would have been enough to bump her halfway up this list. There have been a lot of people in AEW who have gotten over incredibly organically, many of whom we have yet to talk about, but you cannot mention any of them without first talking about Jamie Hayter. Her rise from being merely Britt Baker's second in command to the AEW Women's Champion was remarkable, to the point that by the time Full Gear 2022 arrived, AEW had no choice but to crown her as the top star in the division. Not too bad for just over a year's work. Had her run not been derailed because of injury, she potentially could have been the best AEW Women's Champion ever. Hell, she still might be because of that Hikaru Shida match alone. The AEW Women's Division has been a point of conversation since the day the company was launched, often not for reasons the company would like, but when you look at the company's ability to...
Fucking hell, Tony, this is the easiest task. This is the easiest task you could ever have. There is literally no... This is so fucking easy of a task you have to book this women's division. I wish I could do an AEW Universe mode. That'd be fun. I could do that well. I would know exactly what I'm doing there. But I can't because, you probably wouldn't be into that. None of you all watching here. But god damn, there was so much you could do with a women's division, Tony. It wouldn't be hard.
To create an honest-to-goodness superstar to champion that division, there is maybe only one name that ranks higher than Jamie Hayter. Number 5, The Acclaimed. Hey, listen, the immortal words of Navi the Fairy, who everyone hates, and also The Acclaimed, who, I'm told, everyone loves. The only tag team to feature on this list...
Listen!
Axcaster and Anthony Bowens are the biggest success story of AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, may they rest in peace. While those shows weren't exactly AEW developmental, in many ways they were. A place for AEW to give young wrestlers reps and try out ideas to potentially bring to TV later. The Acclaimed has been by far the greatest thing to come out of that show. They both had experience on the indies, but to the wider audience they were unknown stepping into AEW, but oh how that changed. An engaging team with two talented wrestlers, a fun gimmick allowing them to get mic time every time they're on TV, a sexually provocative catchphrase, that sounds like a winning combination in wrestling to me. From a comedy heel team to the most popular act in the whole company by the time All Out 2022 hit, boy it's weird to talk about that show in a positive light. You don't get much more.
It's insane to me this was a show in Wembley where everyone thought that the trios match would not have much engagement. They came out and the building exploded. Because of course they explode, because everyone loves the Acclaimed. It is just a simple fact. Now I know what's gonna happen if this gets a good amount of views. One of you little fuckers, one of y'all, I'm gonna go in and be like, I don't like the Acclaimed. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Because everyone loves the Acclaimed. It's okay. It's just a fact. Everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Undeniable and organically popular than the Scissor Squad. Number 4, Darby Allin. Now, Darby Allin was one of the names on this list I had seen before the creation of AEW. I'd seen him in Evolve in the World Wrestling Network, and I certainly thought he was a talented fellow, but never did I think he would become one of the most popular stars of a nationally televised wrestling show. It goes to show what I know, because today you would be hard-pressed to find an AEW show without at least one child's face painted like Darby Allin. He is a fully defined character, having been given plenty of time to show the people who he is and what his story has been. He is one of the most consistently excellent TV wrestlers in the business, one of the very best TNT champions there has ever been, and I don't know when it will be, but he will be an AEW World Champion in his career. I feel a bit more confident in that prediction than I did my last one. Number 3, Britt Baker. It was very clear from the first day of AEW that Britt Baker was their future women's champion. While there is certainly loads of criticism against her eventual reign, that much repeated interference would be enough to put anybody off, when she finally won the AEW women's title at Double or Nothing 2021, she was an undeniable superstar. Having only wrestled for just over 3 years at the time of AEW's launch, there was no guarantee that Britt would have panned out even with the AEW machine behind her, but her rapid improvement, her character work during her injury throughout the pandemic, her star-making performance against Thunder Rosa, and her connection with the crowd made her what she was always destined to be, the face of the AEW women's division. Number 2, Orange Cassidy. Don't get me wrong, Orange Cassidy was certainly known.
So I feel like I've missed talking about a couple people, so let's get into Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I love Darby Allin. He's just a small, insane, crazy bastard. How can you not love that? He's just something about him you connect with. Something about him, you know, he's trying to like end his own life in his own and end his own body in just pure, insane, crazy actions. And I mean, you just don't get it. You never understand it with someone with Darby. You don't know what. You try to figure out what he's about. You're trying to figure out why he does the things he does, but you'll never fully know. You'll never fully know. Britt Baker. Britt Baker's aunt to me. I was never truly over with her, even with her pandemic stuff. She was just fine to me. Like, I got why people liked her, but it was just never for me. But I can see why she's high on this list because of that. Like, the Thunder Rosa matches were good. Fucking crazy as hell. But yeah, just I never fully saw the appeal of Britt Baker. This guy has won me over with his only title reign.
Owned by hardcore fans before AEW was launched. He'd made his enemies with those who hate fun in wrestling because of some viral clips, but there is a difference between a clip going around on Twitter and being a consistent fixture on a nationally televised wrestling show. I had my doubts about how far the Orange Cassidy character could go, but after seeing his match with Pac at Revolution, I never doubted the man again. There is zero question that Orange Cassidy has become one of the most popular stars AEW has had in their entire existence, and his current run as the international champion is one of the best title reigns in North America this century. If that isn't success, I don't know what is, but I think I realized why Orange wears those Ray-Bans. It's because his future is so damn bright. And number 1, Zach Clayton. Yeah, I'm kidding. Number 1, MJF. As if it could be anyone else.
It is the guy. It is the guy. That's who it is. He's the guy in AEW. He's the guy. He's the future of the industry. He's the man that's going to hold any company's world title. Well, actually, I don't know about WWE because they have one man who holds a world title and they're never letting anyone else fucking take that thing from him. He could die the next day. No offense, but he could die the next day. They'll still keep the belt on him. They'll just have about fucking 6-man tag and drink the corpse out and put the corpse on top of him just to have him win. Sane man. Fuck. But, MJF, yeah, he's the guy, the face, the best thing in AEW. And he's been the best thing since the company started. Fucking tell me I'm wrong.
MJF had done an incredible amount of work in MLW getting himself ready for superstardom, and if you watch the first All In show, you can see he is a ready-made man. Clearly destined for greatness, MJF was handled incredibly well by AEW during their first year, as his mentorship under Cody Rhodes gave AEW fans a storyline reason to despise him rather than simply relying on cheap heat promos. Very well delivered cheap heat promos, but that's what the early MJF AEW promos were. After he turned on Cody, he had something to sink his teeth into, and ever since, he has been one of the most protected and promoted stars and well-rounded characters in AEW. You have veterans saying he is the greatest talker of his generation and the greatest heel since Ric Flair, and I would love to hear the argument against that stance. One of the most charismatic performers in wrestling this century, MJF is easily the greatest star raised by AEW.
Agreed.
And keep in mind, he's only 27 years old, so without a question, the best is absolutely still yet to come. And that's our...
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think of this reaction video in the comments. Let me know who you think the best AEW homegrown star is in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for next.